You ever notice how everybody seems to applaud the woman who can handle everything on her own by herself? Like Neo has a famous song about it. She's dependable, she's disciplined. What most people see as strength, the nervous system sees as exhaustion. And I've been studying the nervous system for many years as it's been fundamental to my own growth and healing, honestly. And I also relate to the lived experience of, you know, being really independent and having to rely on yourself and not necessarily trusting other people or counting on other people, but just being that person who's like, just maybe independent to a fault and not really letting anyone else in or not ever really like being supported and then feeling like people don't check on you, you know, and the thing is, when you've lived most of your life having to rely, independence stops becoming a choice that you make, and instead it becomes a habit that really is a coping mechanism that really is rooted in protection. And again, this is coming from the neuroscience perspective and the nervous system perspective. And the question that I get all of the time on TikTok when I make videos around this subject is how do you actually shift out of that? How do you actually shift out of the hyper independence? How do you actually shift into feeling safe enough to be seen and supported and also having those kinds of people around you and having those kinds of relationships? How do you stop being hyper independent when it's the only reason that you've made it this far and you've gotten to this point? So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that in this video. The thing that I want to make clear, this is kind of like our starting point, is hyper independence isn't a flaw. It's not a mindset problem. It's a memory and an expectation in the body that you keep living into. Okay. Your nervous system may have learned, probably very young, probably early on, that depending on people is something that's unpredictable. It's something that is dangerous. And now, as an adult, it's something that's just like really uncomfortable. Maybe you grew up watching people promise things that they just didn't follow through on. Maybe there was a certain expectation that was never met, even though it was communicated to you, right? Maybe you had to become the responsible person, like really early on, whether that's the caretaker, whether that's the mediator or the peacemaker. Like early on, you became that, like, I'll handle it person. So what happens is by the time that you become an adult, being in control is the only way to feel safe. Like your system associates you being in control with your safety. So, this is why affirmations like I deserve support, I'm open to receiving, they sound good, but they don't really land and they don't really change anything externally. And this is the truth with affirmations in general. If your body doesn't believe them yet, they're not going to necessarily work. And so that's why those affirmations maybe haven't worked for you if you've been working on shifting out of this hyper independence for a while. This is because your nervous system still thinks on some level, if I relax, then I'm going to lose everything. If I relax, then I am in danger. If I relax, then I'm not safe. If I trust someone, they'll let me down. If I stop pushing through everything, that everything is going to fall apart. Okay. So, this is why when somebody tells you to just rest or to just let people in, it feels foreign, yeah, but even beyond that, it feels threatening. Like, I don't want to do that. I can't do that. I get the cold sweats. Like, how can I possibly do that? Right. And this is something that you can't think your way out of, which is also challenging because if I'm still talking to you in this video and this is the experience that resonates with you and the challenge that you've been facing, you're also probably someone who's very comfortable thinking about things. Like you spend a lot, it's you spend a lot of time in isolation, you spend a lot of time in your head, and you think that if you just think about something enough, you should be able to solve it. You should be able to fix it. You should be able to change it. And so, this is what I want to make clear. You can understand all of what I'm saying logically and still not feel safe enough to change it. you can understand why you are the way you are, and that's not enough to change it. The thing about survival mode, and however it shows up for you, this particular flavor is hyper independence. The thing about it is it's not a mental thing. It's a physiological thing, meaning it's something that's going on in your body, like at a cellular level. Okay. It's the shallow breath that you don't always notice when you're in the flow of getting everything done and getting a bunch of stuff done. Right. And it's the way that you double check everything, even the things that don't need double checking. It's the way that you feel relief, but only when you're checking boxes. You don't feel relief when someone's helping you check those boxes. This is the nuance, right? Like this is the what's going on beneath the surface in your body. Your body is running a program that says I'm only safe when I'm in control. I'm only safe when I'm the one who's doing everything. So, if you want to shift out of this hyper independence, you can't just decide to stop. And hopefully, this helps you stop beating yourself up if you feel like you've made that decision in the past and then you're frustrated that you think you should have it fixed by now or changed by now, or you should be in a different point in this journey of healing through this right now, right? You can't just decide to stop and then it's done. Okay. If you want to shift out of it, you have to show your body over time that it's safe for you to be supported. That is nervous system regulation work. And that's what nervous system healing really means. Okay, bubble baths are good, great. So are vacations and passport stamps, and so is journaling, right? And so is therapy. But what I'm talking about is literally creating moments and experiences that teach your body that it doesn't have to brace for impact every single day. From the moment you wake up to the moment you lay down, just always bracing for impact. So, what's the shift actually look like? Okay. What's the process actually look like? And, there's a lot of different trends and things on social media, about the soft life and about healing, but I don't want to talk about that version. I want to talk about the real life version starting from this video forward, okay? Shifting out of this hyper independence, shifting out of survival mode, it's something that you start small. You start small, okay? It looks like letting someone help you carry something without immediately saying, I got it. Okay. If you have a job, it looks like asking for clarity around something instead of pretending that you already understand and then getting overwhelmed and frustrated later because you need more information. Right. It looks like setting a timer for 5 minutes and sitting still and noticing how uncomfortable that feels. That discomfort is your nervous system detoxing, in a sense, from control and always needing to be on and always needing to be doing something. Okay. That discomfort that you experience is the same reason that you rest, but you never feel rested, but instead you feel guilty. Right. This is why silence doesn't feel peaceful for that 5 minutes. It feels like something is like terribly wrong. Your body is unlearning years of tension and needing to be in control. And so, my invitation to you with all of this is instead of trying to fight with that discomfort or instead of even making it mean anything significant and judging it, just meet it with curiosity. Just tell your body, like, we're safe right now. No one is coming to throw a shoe at us for resting. Everything is okay. This is how repatterning begins, okay? It's not you just changing who you are magically overnight, but it's changing what your body experiences around safety, what your body believes around safety through small moments that you choose for yourself over time that add up. Now, another conversation around this that makes sense that I get, or, that I get questions about often is what if there's nobody around you genuinely that you can trust? a lot of people might hear what I'm saying around this, not in this video, because my videos don't get tons of views here, but maybe on TikTok or just in general, a lot of people hear this type of advice that I'm giving and they say, like, yeah, but that sounds great for you, but I don't have anybody else that I can lean on. It's just me. Or, how am I supposed to do, let someone help me even with something small when I've been let down so many times? It's always just been me. I hear all of that. I understand all of that. I've been exactly in those shoes before. And I just want to tell you that you're right. You can't start to build this internal safety on a unreliable ground. You're right. But co-regulation isn't only about people, okay? It's not only about other people. It's about experiences that send safety signals to your body. Okay. So yes, it can be, having a grounded friend or stranger, that helps you with something small. But it could also be things in your environment. It could be pets, your dog, it could be music, it could be nature. Anything that slows your breath and reminds your system that we're not in danger right now. I actually just recently got back from a trip to Mexico where I stayed, and I was very intentional. I wanted to stay in an environment that was grounded in nature, that would send a lot of cues and signals to my body that you're safe. You can exhale, you can breathe, you can relax, you can be present to the moment. And to my surprise, my pleasant surprise, when I got to the home in Mexico, it was situated on a waterfall. And so on my Whoop band here that tracks my recovery was great because I was in parts choosing to rest, and but I had a lot of signals of safety in my environment where even the window was open at night and I could hear the waterfall. It's something so soothing to the body. Okay. And so that's the bridge from survival mode to feeling safe to be supported, feeling safe inside of yourself, and then having more relationships that see you and support you. Right? The bridge is helping your body recognize these small moments of calm. And then you start letting safe people in, one interaction at a time. The types of people that probably you didn't recognize before or felt like a threat before unconsciously to the part of you that needs to be in control and is used to doing everything by yourself. Because what your nervous system needs the most is consistency. It's not necessarily about having close people right away. It's just about consistency. It's about having someone or something that keeps showing up in the same calm way, right? Even watching these videos, if they make you feel calm or help you feel calm, you know, watching them over time could be that co regulation that introduces moments of safety that help you reprogram yourself over time. That's how trust starts to rebuild. That's how it starts to rebuild. So when people like me talk about, heal your nervous system, what they really mean is teaching your body something new. And in this particular instance, what I really mean is teaching your body that safety doesn't only come when you're in a hyper independent state, trying to control a bunch of stuff that you don't need to be worrying about. Okay. Over time, this is what turns hyper independence to healthy interdependence. And what I mean by that is this is how you get to a space where you're still capable, you're still competent, but you no longer confuse isolation with safety. And you no longer are so isolated and disconnected, but you have safety and connection and closeness with other people. And this is what's going to allow you to rest and still feel like yourself. This is what's going to allow you to ask people for help and not feel tiny and small and like you're making a mistake. And this is how you get to a place where, you know, you can just say, you know what, today I don't got it. And you don't crumble and fall apart and feel so guilty. Okay. This is regulation. This is what it looks like. This is strength that doesn't need to prove itself anymore. So if you're watching this video and you feel like you've been in survival mode for years and it you're just tired of it. It feels like a cycle that you can't break or a cage that you can't get out of. I want you to understand you don't need to be fixed. You're not necessarily broken. You just need to start reminding your body that it's safe to exhale. It's safe to breathe again. Okay. You don't lose your power when you do this. Okay. Lastly, I want to say this shift doesn't happen overnight. And I think that's a, I think for me at least, it's relieving for me to know that healing, shifting anything is really about those small moments because I can do small moments. I can do moment to moment. Okay. That's grounding for me. And so if you want to shift out of this, just remember it's the small, every small moment of softness, every slow exhale, every time you let someone help you, even with something small, that is healing. And that's your nervous system learning safety. And that's you leaving survival mode one small moment at a time. Okay. So hopefully this helps you. My name is Sid Scott. Thanks for watching another video. For all resources, coaching, guided meditations, things of that nature, click the link in the bio. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.